Hello, my friends. It's Sonya here with Fresh Approach Fitness, a wellness company. How are you today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is your first time, grab a cup of coffee, your notebook, a pen and paper, or definitely feel free to screenshot this episode because you're absolutely going to love it. And friends who've been here and with me for a while now, today's episode is called One Foot Forward. And it stemmed from this morning's Facebook Live. And I'm not sure if you're familiar or not, but I go live on social media every Monday to Friday. And I share those lives to my YouTube channel, Instagram, my other social media platforms. And on every day is a different theme. So Motivational Monday, Transformation Tuesday, Wellness Wednesday, Thankful Thursday, and Check-in Friday. So today's Transformation Tuesday, and the transformation has nothing to do with your physical appearance. Okay? The transformation is always one word that you can use to improve your life from the day before. And that word in my case today was tenacity. And my goal, and I'm going to definitely add the link so you've got that as a resource, but my goal is to be 1% more tenacious today than I was yesterday. So here's the thing, friends. It takes courage, tenacity, and grit to chase your dreams. You're going to lose people that you thought were friends. You're going to be criticized by the herd, and you're going to be mocked publicly for any failures that you may have. But while you're living this dream, you're still dreaming it. Right? This is the burning pit in your soul, or the one thing that comes to mind that lights you up. You know, the goal and the dream and the vision that you're working towards for your life. And if you're not chasing your dream, if you're not being tenacious about what you want out of life, then let me tell you something. You are then fulfilling somebody else's dream. And what is it that you would rather be doing? So whether it comes to weight loss, debt, stress, any other changes that you want to make in your life, think of how tenacity will play a role in that. So I'm going to start off by sharing a personal story. And my personal story goes a little bit like this. Years ago, I guess it was over 10 years ago now, closer to maybe, okay, so let's just say 10 years ago, after my second divorce ended, and we had gone in about, I don't even know how many years ago now, but we had gone in not that long prior to a friend of mine who was a financial mortgage broker, and we weren't able to qualify for any additional resources, any additional help. And we were a double income family, raising 3 kids at this time, and we just didn't have the resources. We didn't have our act together, and we weren't financially free. We didn't have that solid foundation in place. So then the divorce happens. And when the divorce happens, there is nothing you're thinking about but getting through the moment. Literally, you are putting 1 foot forward to make it through the days. And I know this affects people in different ways, shapes, forms, whatever. It's completely different for every situation and scenario for everybody. But in my case, it was a matter of survival. It wasn't a matter of what can we do next? How can I plan for the future? It was survival mode 101, like amplified because there was 3 kids. It wasn't just me. It was 3 kids involved. And it was a matter of continuing their day to day as much as we could as we're dealing with the divorce, as we're dealing with the financial hiccups that come with separating those funds. So remember, about a couple of years prior to that, we had gone for some sort of loan, and we needed to improve our credit scores and make some changes. And we were actually turned away. And that was heartbreaking when you feel hopeless. I'm sure there's a few of you listening to this that are nodding your head for those moments in time where you feel completely hopeless. Financially, you feel stuck, and that really amplifies that feeling of being in survival mode. So fast forward 5 years from that date and point in time. So 5 years after the divorce, 7 years after the original conversation with the mortgage broker. And I go back to the mortgage broker. And wouldn't you know, through the divorce, through raising kids, through working on my own business, I was able to clear up my credit and make such significant changes to my life that I was able to buy a house for the girls and I. I moved back to St. Thomas, and my story begins there. My story begins there. And not anybody else's story. This was an adventure for myself. So the moral of the story is the mortgage broker had said to me, and he actually publicly put this up on LinkedIn, so it's not private, but he had said to me, this is the first time I've heard it like this, "You are the most tenacious person I know." Those words have never left me. Ever. The reason why I'm sharing this is it doesn't matter what mountain you're going through right now. It doesn't matter what your goal is. It doesn't matter where you're at in your journey. That feeling that lights you up from the inside, that feeling, that sparkle, that joy, that is what you're chasing into your everyday world. And where are you right now on those goals? Are you living your best life? Are you loving every minute of it? Where are you at? I'd love to hear from you. Go ahead, message me back. It's Sonya, Sonya, at freshapproachfitness.ca. I'm actually going to post a copy of yesterday's YouTube on this as well, so you can see. I'm different platforms as well, but if you're not following me on any of them, I'm just going to post the YouTube one, and then that way there you can take a look at it. Actually, it's this morning's, not yesterday's. Yesterday's was Motivational Monday. Completely different topic. But the inspiration that I just shared is going to be shared with you through the YouTube channel. So you can see that link here on the podcast. So what is it that you're working towards? And I can share, some days my dreams and my goals seem harder to obtain than other days. And it doesn't matter if it's my physical business or if it's weight loss or if it's debt or where I'm at with my story. It doesn't matter. Some days are harder than others. Some priorities make it harder than others. And what we're going to learn about today is how to flip that script, how to stay focused, how to live your own dreams. So let's start with this. Tenacity, being tough. The ability to hold fast, characterized by keeping a firm hold, a tenacious grip on my arm, tenacious of old habits, so it's harder to let go of old habits. Another definition of the word tenacity is highly retentive, so you have a tenacious memory. But here we go. My favorite definition of the word tenacity: persistent, stubborn, abstain, will not give up, comes back time and a time like a boomerang. Actually, it doesn't use the word like a boomerang, but you get it. So tenacity is having the strength of mind and the spirit to stick to one's purpose. And this is closely linked with discipline. Tenacity is the quality that enables one to follow through on hers or his goals, to be slow or unwilling, but to never give up on them. And I think that is the best definition of tenacity I've ever heard. I'm going to repeat it again for you. And definitely, again, if you have any questions, I can resend this sentence to anybody that needs motivation. But let me say it to you again. Tenacity is having the strength of mind and spirit to stick to one's purpose. This is closely linked with discipline. Tenacity is the quality that enables one to follow through on goals and be slower or unwilling to give up on them. What goals are you not willing to give up on? Think about that. What are some non-negotiating goals that you absolutely need in your life in order to achieve the level of success that you need, that you want? So let's break it down. Are you looking to lose weight? First of all, what is your goal? Are you looking to lose weight? Are you looking to save money? Are you looking to have a completely different environment? I don't know. And this is very individual. This is very personal, which is why I don't know what your goals are unless you share them with me. you know what my goals are. I talk about this all the time. My goal is to have that cottage, and it starts with the coffee cup. Every single day, I think about me being in that cottage. I even dress that way. I act as if, and I even dress that way. For those that are new to this show, it's very, very cool to start acting as if and living your life as you already have the perfect life. So every single day, I make choices that are aligned with my new life. A day and a half a week now, I have my grandson Hudson. He's here today, so if you hear any of the background noise, I have my two daughters watching him. And on that note, I want to say, be open to letting life surprise you, especially when you're working within Tenacity. You are going to get surprises, good and bad. You're going to get roadblocks. You are going to be tempted. You are going to have challenges. You are going to want to give up on your goals because it is going to be really, really hard. And that's okay. That is okay. The thing is, when you fall off that horse, you need to get back on. You really, really, really need to get back on. That's not an analogy for no reason. It's so very true because think about this. It's Monday, you're starting your diet on Monday, and you didn't plan out your week properly because you're working by yourself and you think you can handle this and you're not thinking ahead. Which is fine. It happens to all of us. And you realize Thursday and Friday you have commitments and you need to be going out for dinner. So what? You're just going to blow your diet and wait another week? Now, I don't like to use the word diet, but we're not talking about that right now. But you're going to blow all of the healthy choices because you didn't prioritize and plan your week properly. But this is a skill you're not going to be learning about unless you're either working with a coach or you're willing to grow through it. So I was speaking with a friend of mine last night, and I was also listening to Mel Robbins' Take Control of Your Life yesterday. An amazing recommended read or listen, whichever you prefer to do. And there was a chapter in there near the end that I got extremely sensitive to. It brought back triggers from my past, things I hadn't thought about and I had buried so deep. And I know you're listening to this and you're like, wow, Sonya, vulnerability, number one here. It's okay. I'm not going to go into the specific details. And yes, we're all human. Yes, life didn't happen for us. But you couple the fact that the episode I was listening to triggered me, and then the conversation triggered me to go even deeper, where I actually had a bath and I cried. And I opened up to Tony and shared things that I hadn't shared before. And I shared some of those things on the call. After my bath and a glass of wine, I watched a show, fell asleep on the couch, went to bed. Like the loving, kind soul that he is, he wrapped his arms around me and just held me tight. And here's the thing. I had a moment of thinking twice and becoming a chameleon again. I don't want to be a chameleon again. It didn't serve me. I know for a fact that every single thing that has happened to me has happened for a reason. I know I am a better, stronger person because of it. I know I can bounce. I know what I have to offer, and I have become the best version of me because of those experiences. And that is not something to take lightly. I'd love to challenge you today and give you a bit of a homework assignment. And the homework assignment I would love to be able to give you is think back and just gaze into your past. Don't go deep into all of the mountains that you have surpassed. The highs, the lows, the moments that you didn't think you would make it through. And now write yourself a little letter, write in your journal, whatever. So moment number one, maybe a car accident, you got seriously injured. It doesn't matter. But I want you to write out your wins from that experience. And that's exactly what Check-in Fridays are about, by the way. It's about acknowledging your wins and your progress to bring you on track and bring you one step closer to reaching that dream life that you're trying to create. So I could say for certainty last night, and I even said this out loud, every single thing that's happened to me has happened for me. I have grown because of it. I am now helping other people. I have shared my stories, not to the depth where it's extremely personal unless it's a case-by-case scenario, right? So where does that lead us in terms of tenacity? Well, we can get stuck in that downward spiral and honestly think that this is happening to us, when indeed it is happening for us. All of this, every single experience that you've gone through is happening for you. And when it comes to pushing past that, I would like to suggest that you think about your goal, that you think of what the word tenacity means to you, that you think of what you bring to the table. Heaviness. I know, right? It happens. It happens sometimes, friends, and that's okay. That is really, really okay. I'm actually going to put Mel Robbins' book recommendation in here as well, so you can see how to access her book and who I'm recommending. She does some really good coaching sessions online, and it's not a matter of just listening to this. Sometimes you need to take it a step further. Sometimes you need so much more than listening to what somebody else says. You need to be working with a coach. And believe it or not, every coach has a coach. Every therapist has a therapist. Think of how all of those things have led you to exactly where you're at today. Oh, listen, you can hear them in the background. So I'm going to put all of these links and resources, Mel Robbins, that quote I said at the very beginning, as well as a link to yesterday's video on YouTube. Or, sorry, I keep on saying that, but it's today's video that we're talking about tenacity. And now we're going to go over a little bit more. So when it comes to principles of tenacity, I want to share them with you so you know what it is that you're looking for. Because you need to know in order to take a turn at putting your best foot forward. So here are some thoughts to start, set you on fire, and to get you going. And by the way, yes, I said my girls. 2 out of the 3 of them are here. I saw all 3 of them today. There was a time about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, I had to set a healthy boundary for myself. And today my daughter showed up and I cried for about 5 minutes in her arms. I'm not used to us not being together. And let life surprise you, my friends. Stay tenacious. Stay true. Be you. Things will always work out the way they're supposed to. But you are so not worth becoming a chameleon for. And I'm going to explain this word. Chameleon is somebody that adapts to every situation so they can keep the peace. If you are a chameleon, I am here to help you find your true voice. I am here to help you discover your true purpose in life. I am here to help you push past those limiting beliefs, other people's stories, get to the truth of the matter, and identify who you are. That's what's happened to me. Over the last 5 years, I've stepped into the best version of myself. And I promise you one thing. It's only going to get better from here. Okay, so here are some thoughts to help start to get you on fire and to get you going. Sometimes you just have to outlast the others. So there's a quote from William Feather, and it says, "Success seems to be largely a matter of hanging on after others have let go." I have found that many people do start on their dreams, but most people never finish. How true is that? We can always think of a dream that we've started that didn't finish. Then those who stop tend to resent the fact that they have stopped. They resent the people who have continued to put one foot in front of the other and be tenacious. Those people are the people that are making it. Those are the people that we end up working for if we choose not to follow our own dreams. So the truth is, though, that most people who become successful have simply mastered the art of keeping on, putting that one foot in front of the other, showing up for themselves every day. I shared with you some of my stories, but I haven't shared this. It's easy to get disheartened. Ask anyone who has achieved success. Ask any of your small business owner, entrepreneur friends if they've ever gotten disheartened. And you'll find some of the most amazing answers, some of the most amazing stories that you've ever heard. challenge you. Give it a try. I actually shared with a friend of mine this morning who is interested in taking a role in helping me out more and more at the business, which is awesome. And I shared with her how I was discouraged, not with results, but with continuously putting in the hard work. And she messaged me this morning right afterwards, and she's like, I'm really glad you didn't give up. I'm really glad you kept going. And here's the thing. People show up in our lives to tell us that. And I, don't get me wrong, friends. I don't want to give up on this at all. I absolutely love every single moment of it. But after 12 years, it's much sometimes. It is definitely much sometimes. So it's a matter of making it more enjoyable more often than not, and making the much less and less in between. And that's a juggling act for anybody, because that's working on your business versus in your business. And that's a separate conversation altogether, so we're not going to go there. But telling myself, today I went for a run, today I felt amazing, today I let life surprise me, today I am on fire and I'm with my grandson. How awesome is that? And I get to do this. So when you tell yourself, let me put one foot in front of the other, let me make the best decisions I can possibly make today, and that's enough. That is one place to start. And then push it out for the week. And then give it one more week. And quite frankly, this is the process that's gotten me through a couple of years of my work. When I'm holding on, or when the moments get hard. Those are the moments, though, I tell you, I'm going to share, those are the moments that turn into a breakthrough. It is so easy to get disheartened. So easy. Go to the most successful person you know and ask them if they've ever thought about quitting. Watch their body language. Pay attention to how they openly communicate that with you, because they might say one thing, but their body might say something else. Ask them how they kept going. You'll be amazed at what you hear. Sometimes you just have to hold on at the end. So Franklin Roosevelt had shared, when you get to the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on. And I love this. I'm sharing some of my favorite quotes to match up with Tenacity, to help encouraging you to put one foot in front of the other, to help encouraging you to keep going. Because I wonder, truly I wonder, how many of you out there have quit just as you would have begun your entrance into success? How many of you were so close, but you didn't hold on? You know, there are so many people that quit at the first sign of hard work. But what about those who, after the 10th time of trial and error, just give up? What if, guys, I just gave up this morning or last night? You wouldn't be hearing any of this. This is an amazing episode, and I'm not trying to be patting myself on the back. Again, that's a conversation for a different day. I'm not trying to do that. I wouldn't be showing up for you today. I wouldn't be smiling from ear to ear. My shoulders wouldn't be so low from my ears. I wouldn't have accepted such simple pleasures that surround me in more than one way. How many people do you know that were on their last hurdle and decided not to jump? How many people had just one more mountain to go through, or just one more river to cross? Of course, we'll never know. We never know these things, right? But certainly some of the people who never quit are doing so. They are doing what they love. They are making an impact and being an inspiration to the world. And could you imagine? Can you imagine what the world would be without some of these people? So what does this mean to you? For me, it means I do not quit, because I would hate to find out later that all I needed was just one last effort and I would have achieved my goal. What if this isn't my last trial? That's okay. Because as long as I keep going, eventually it'll all come together. And when I'm talking about my business, I would never give up on it. Sometimes I would pause and come back. I can't give up on something I am extremely passionate about. I can't give up on something that brings me so much joy and glory as helping other people move to the next step on the ladder. Take that next 1% to help progress in their life. there's no greater feeling than coaching others through their journey of becoming the best version of themselves. Whether that's to do with meals, mindset, movement, money, whether that's to do with losing the weight of unwanted pounds, debt, or stress. Whether it feels like you've got your 20-year-old with her hands on her hips ready to go staring at you and you know you're not quite done yet. Let me share one more piece with you. Look at this. She's jumping up and down. Look at this. She's jumping up and down. Ah! Okay, I am going to share one more piece for you, and then we will sign off for the day. So, sometimes the most beautiful results come from doing dull things under pressure. Let me say that again. Sometimes the most beautiful results come from doing dull things under pressure. You know, those mundane, tenacious tasks. Oh, there's Hudson trying to say hello with my knitting needles in his hands. Guys, I should take a video of this. I should be doing these podcasts through YouTube and posting them up there. But if coal wasn't an animate object, it would clearly scream, "Stop, I want out." But that coal, when facing incredible pressure, is turned into one of Earth's most precious possessions. Ugly, dirty, old coal is transformed into beautiful, beautiful diamonds. Diamonds are nothing more than chunks of coal that stuck to their jobs. That's by Malcolm Forbes, and I'm going to share that quote one more time. Diamonds are nothing more than chunks of coal that stuck to their jobs. So instead of looking at the pressures and trials as the reason to quit, get tenacious and see them as the very thing that will make your life the beautiful thing that you desire it to be. See it as an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to be transformed. When you're at the gym, give it one more rep. Use that weight that's one bit heavier. Show up for the gym. Whatever your win is that day, don't give up on yourself. See these trials as the very things that will enable you to have the life that you dream of. Trials will surely come. Life will get hard and you will want to quit. Then you will have a choice. Will you give up or will you take a turn at tenacious? The choice you make will determine much of the rest of your life. How does that sit with you? Right? It's been around for quite a while. Gandhi had said, the history of the world is full of men who rose to leadership by sheer force of self-confidence, bravery, and tenacity. And one of my favorite stories from Think and Grow Rich, and it's a real life story. This is a book that I am doing a mastermind on, I am working on exclusively. But Mary McLeod Bethune, she had said, if we have the courage and tenacity of our forebears, who stood firmly like a rock against the lash of slavery, we shall find a way to do our day-to-day what they did for theirs. Wow. Wow. So my friends, my fearless, amazing friends, I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear what your thoughts, takes are on One Foot Forward and on tenacity. How would you describe tenacity? And what's the one area of your life that you want to work on? Or is it multiple areas? I work with people in multiple areas because I truly, truly believe that we're not one-dimensional. This is the challenge I face. Is I've been told coach upon coach upon coach that I need to niche down. I can't niche down because what we do in one part of our life, we do in all parts of our life. So if you're struggling to stay tenacious and true to yourself in one area, it's multiple areas. It certainly is. Okay, I'm not going to keep you too long. My daughters have been amazing and patiently waiting. Today, I've let life surprise me. I have shared more vulnerable stories, and I love the fact that this is part of my character, that this is just who I am. And there are some other powerful influencers out there. Brene Brown is one of them. Mel Robbins is another one. And the stories that they share are meant to inspire you. Whether they are their vulnerable stories themselves or they're one of their clients' stories, if you haven't listened or read any of their work yet, I encourage you to do so. And definitely reach out to me. I'd love to learn a little bit more about who's listening to these podcasts. Find me on social media. Join the community. The links will be attached. Make it a great day, my friends. And until next week, keep putting one foot forward.